road, and we gon' ride on forever.
Hi guys, my name is Forever Formula, and in this video I'll be talking about the Spanish Grand Prix weekend. Apologies firstly for not being able to make any videos during the weekend or even on Sunday night after the race, but in this video I'll be trying to wrap up all of the action that I think is important through this Spanish Grand Prix. The first round that we've entered in Europe really kicked off with the key moment, especially for me. I always remember for the Spanish Grand Prix is that the teams are allowed to bring upgrades. So teams for upgrades in terms of the car, the chassis, and in performance and R&D, that they can really analyse the cars and try and improve them for the rest of the season. The improvements that were brought to the paddock, the most ones that stood out for me were McLaren, obviously struggling through the first races of the season. Would they be able to improve in Spain? Not really. Again, Jensen saying that that they can improve further in the rounds. But as they get further into the season, my hope for them is slightly fading a bit, but again it is a marathon, not a sprint. The one that I feel for the most is obviously Fernando Alonso. His home race, one and only after they got rid of the European Grand Prix in Valencia in 2012, not being able to perform as well as they wanted. Anyway, so they kicked off an absolutely scorcher weekend with the average temperature of something like 40 degrees. Unbelievable temperatures kicked off. The Friday key headline that stood out for me was in FP2, Romain Grosjean. The body chassis has completely exploded the cover for the engine. Obviously engine performance problems for Lotus, and not just Lotus. You did see other teams struggling through the paddock with a track where things like where aerodynamics are not as key in terms of traction and engine performance, and especially as well those upgrades that I mentioned earlier in the video, the upgrades that I brought to the track in Catalonia, they've got to work with the engine, and sometimes they don't pay off when they're putting them on the car. Qualifying rolled round, and it was a Mercedes front row lockout, the same as we've seen in the other races, but in a different format. Lewis Hamilton obviously took pole position in the other races of the season. Nico Rosberg was on pole position for the Spanish Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton lined up second, with Sebastian Vettel for the Ferrari doing a very consistent job at finishing third. I don't know if this was about Fernando Alonso moving from Ferrari, but Ferrari are definitely one of the most adored teams at the track. You'll see more flags for Ferrari than any other team in a way. Very good for them. Toro Rosso as well, their first top 10 finish at the track and this season. Absolutely fantastic performance by them. Valtteri Bottas did a fantastic qualifying position, and they're ready for the race, which was very good. The pit stop strategy that was taken was that Lewis Hamilton was going to go against Sebastian Vettel, meaning that when Vettel pitted, Hamilton wouldn't, as he saw that was his key rival in the race. So they went off at the start of the race. It was a very good performance by them. As I mentioned about Romain Grosjean's accident with the engine cover flying off the track in a very good performance on the home pit straight. He also hit, when he came into the pits, one of the accidents that we have seen before in Formula 1, where he actually hit the man that was working the front jack. Obviously I hope that he was okay. He looked to be okay. Just had showed him in the pits just with some ice in places where he was hit. But I thought it was a good solid drive by Romain Grosjean. The Lotuses were struggling last year and this year, but a P8 finish for Romain Grosjean was a good performance. Speaking on the other side of the Lotuses, Pastor Maldonado, for the first part of the race, I thought he was going pretty well. I thought he was going to get a good performance. Remember that this was a track that he won at in 2012 with Williams, his very first win in Formula 1, and the first win since Williams since 2004 with Juan Pablo Montoya. So obviously he's got a good pedigree at this track, but unfortunately problems with the car, the reliability, meant that he had to endure his fourth retirement in the 5 races. Very poor performance by the Lotus, by both Lotus cars in a way, but hopefully they can improve. Again, two drivers that I think are worthy, that can perform, but again they haven't got the car. And ever since the absence of Kimi Raikkonen in 2012, I've never seen 2013. Since the absence of Kimi Raikkonen in 2013, I've never seen the Lotuses actually perform to the standard that, as I say, we saw in 2012 with obviously the Kimi Raikkonen's win in Abu Dhabi and also the 2013 Australian Grand Prix. But hopefully they can improve for Monaco. Obviously Monaco is a much different track to what we see in the calendar. Really, it's Monaco and Singapore. Obviously the tight street races what really test it. You know, the barriers are so close in proximity, it really tests the drivers. Obviously Monaco, the real jewel in the crown of the Formula 1 season, and obviously all the drivers want to win that. So can we see these teams perform for that? Toro Rosso had a good finish with 9th and 11th. So again, pretty consistent for them. One of the drivers in the points, which shows that they can improve. Daniel Kvyat, his coming together with Carlos Sainz will not be investigated anymore. The stewards have let that one go to just sod's law that happened in the race. Just a quick word on contracts. There was a talk that Lewis Hamilton may be going to Ferrari next year. That has gone. It wasn't actually released that either Lewis Hamilton or Ferrari just declared that, but I'm sure it was Ferrari. They just said we don't want Lewis in the team. And the next driver that they're interested in, which again is a rookie moving up through the ranks, is Valtteri Bottas from Williams. Would that be fantastic? That would be fantastic to see. Obviously, we've seen drivers move from different teams, and obviously there would be a team that I'm sure Valtteri would want to go to with their pedigree in Formula 1. Anyway, so it was a race that was exciting, but again, nothing out of the ordinary, just an average race. In my opinion, it's all building up to Monaco, which is obviously the race that I and I hope you are looking forward to. As I say, the jewel in the crown, what we all look forward to. One of the best races in the calendar. It really is. So I'm really looking forward to that. Let me know in the comment section for two things. One, who you thought performed well in the Spanish Grand Prix, and also who you think will perform in the Monaco Grand Prix. I'm hoping to do a few more videos leading up to the Monaco Grand Prix. Again, a very special and prestigious race in Formula 1. So I'm hoping to do those for obviously your enjoyment and your knowledge leading up to the Monaco Grand Prix. Obviously a fantastic race. So that's it for this video. Thank you. Give me a like and a subscribe, please. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you very much.